first hour, Calvin.
I have
This is my normal seat.
This is open season.
I'm glad.
All right. I have some back there that may or may not be
Wait, who is
Dusty.
dusty. They've only been there like a day or so. I brought them in for algebra the other day. Some of them might have been used to have water in them, but they weren't drank out of. Others that had names on them don't drink out of them.
Yes, Taylor, bucket.
Wow.
I think I should just leave it there. I think I'll get it ashamed of it.
Memorial.
You know what it is? Yeah. It's like, it should be in a shape.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah. That's kind of what happens.
Okay.
Every time. Yeah, baby.
Buckets.
That's literally what.
Well done. The future is bright with the basketball team as long as Taylor doesn't sign it.
Yeah. Taylor's learning how to
Boys, go to the game.
When's your next game?
today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you should come.
I will think about it. What time?
5:30 and 7.
Hey, can
So,
you
like,
come
right
to my
after
practice?
game club?
It's after school. Come to my
Perhaps.
practice,
There's game club
please.
today?
Your practice?
Yeah, it's like a junior
You
high.
talking about practice?
There's
You talking about
Who's
practice?
that?
Anybody, Allen Iverson?
Campbell.
No?
Why do you guys always
I
send
know
each other like
No?
pictures?
Yes.
I'll think
It
about
should
it.
be funny.
All right, quiz one review.
WNBA.
This is it, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Who wants the rest of my notes?
State whether each pair of triangles is provably congruent.
Pour it back in the
If yes, state which postulates and or theorems you used to come to this conclusion. So it's a little bit further than what we've been doing yesterday, but really not that much further.
I'm gonna knock
So
it.
first of all,
Oh no.
are the two triangles in number one congruent? Yes or no?
Yeah, no, yes.
Yeah.
You're unsure.
Yes.
If you say no, great. If you say yes, why do you think yes?
Well, why can I
Side,
never
side
come to
angle.
Side angle. So fun fact, SSA spells a bad word backwards, and you
Oh
just
my
said it
gosh.
on camera.
No, she.
Spelled it.
Whoops. That's exactly how I would. That's my number one thing. Oops.
Side.
Yes, Cheyenne. HL, it's hypotenuse leg. Guys, I started off with a curveball. Isn't that fun?
How do you know?
It works because it's a right triangle, so the hypotenuses, right, the hypoteni, they are congruent. And then we have two legs that are congruent, so that's enough to prove it. Again, when you want to write ASS or SSA, check to see if it's a right triangle, and if it is, you got HL. And if it's not a right triangle, then it don't work. So, we know it's true by HL. That means these triangles are congruent. So let's call them something. Let's call it triangle ABC. And if we write triangle ABC is congruent to the other triangle, we have to make sure we write it in a certain order, right?
There's a glare on the board.
I'm not God. I can't fix everything, guys. All right.
Figure it out. Wait, so why is it HL? Can you say it again?
HL is hypotenuse leg, which means that if you have the hypoteni matching and a leg matching, that's good enough. Now, a hypotenuse is the biggest side on a right triangle. It's the side that's always opposite the 90 degree.
Sweet.
Right? That's the hypotenuse. That's the C in the A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
No, I'm gonna keep eating.
Okay.
So, triangle ABC is congruent to this triangle. Now we need to write that statement and make sure we do it correctly. So, A, this angle right here, what angle does it match up with on the diagram? Well, this seems kind of difficult to figure out. How do you know it's F?
FED, fed.
Well, how do you know? Okay, let's talk about why. This is geometry. So,
Let's talk about that.
notice that B and E go together. That's pretty self-explanatory, I think, right? They're both the right angle. A, this angle right here, is the angle that is formed by this one line congruency symbol leg, or hypotenuse, right? And then this leg that we don't know about. So we have the hypotenuse and then the unknown leg, which sounds like a great band name, Unknown Leg. I can work on that. Hold on.
Dance band
This is
forever.
No.
Write this down, Unknown Leg.
Dance band has had its time.
Dance band is great.
Sounds like that.
Hold on. Band names. Cosmic Granola. Unknown Leg.
Cosmic Granola. So are you ever gonna start?
Cosmic Granola would definitely be like a psychedelia like jam band. Alright, so
Yeah.
this angle right here is made up of the hypotenuse and the unknown leg. This angle here is made up of the hypotenuse and the unknown leg. So yes, A and F go together.
I'm a little confused.
I think literally so.
Wait, why is this the same
AF.
stuff as we were doing yesterday?
What? Yes.
ASF.
We're just combining
Oh,
the two
yeah,
things
sorry.
we did. Like the first half of the homework and the second half, we're combining them.
BAF.
Next up, I know that C and D go together. Because C is made up of the hypotenuse and the known leg. D is made up of the hypotenuse and the known leg. So they're going to go together. And of course, B and E go together. That's the right angle.
See?
I'm gonna keep telling.
So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle FED. Order does matter, right? F and A go together. E and B go together. E and C go together. Great. Okay, let's go.
Inside angle.
2. Congruent or no?
Yes.
Yes. So how are they congruent?
Angle, side angle.
Okay, so you said angle, side, angle, but we have no information about any sides. So where did
They
you
have
get
a
that
shared
side?
Shared
Oh my God, Bailey. Thank you.
God, you're welcome.
So yeah, they have a shared
So
side.
you understand?
So we know by shared side. So
Yes.
let's write that down.
Sure. Yes, actually good.
And we also know by angle, side, angle, right? In that order, it has to be ASA because the angles surround the side. If you cover up one of the triangles, you can clearly see we have an angle, a side, and an angle in that order. Again, the angles surround the side. Are we cool with that? It's not AAS. A lot of you guys were saying, well, why can't I just go angle, angle, side? Well, it's because in order to get to that angle from here, I have to cross a side and an angle, and you can't cross both. It doesn't work. So we have consecutive angle, side, angle. ASA? So now let's write that the triangles are congruent. So we have triangle ABC, which is the top triangle, this one right here. Let's match up the stuff. Triangle ABC is going to be congruent to the bottom triangle. So angle A in the top is this blue angle, right? That's angle A in the top triangle. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, what does it match up with in the bottom triangle?
C.
Angle C in the bottom triangle. And then we have angle, yes? Angle A in the top triangle. Again, make sure you're looking at the right triangle. The correct triangle, I shouldn't say the right triangle, it's not a right triangle. The correct triangle. Angle A in the top triangle, ABC, right?
I don't know.
Matches up with C in the bottom triangle. Cool?
Yes.
Then B is next. That's this angle, that's the other angle. So it's gonna match up with what?
D.
D. D is in dog. D is in Derek.
D as in
Hey,
Donald.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna take this
D
one.
as in
Keep going,
dinosaur.
Bailey.
D
Dinosaur.
as in dirt.
How many D words can you think of?
I think there's a few.
Not very many. I'm kind of slow.
Got it. Okay. So we got C and D. Again, on the top triangle, we have C, angle C, which is this red angle.
Double ding.
What does it match up with on the bottom triangle?
A.
A. Very good.
No.
So ABC is CDA.
Dude.
How do you feel?
Mark says pumped up kicksters playing.
That's a good one.
I will.
Foster the people, my dude. 3. Congruent or no?
Yes.
What was the question?
Why are they congruent?
Vertical angles.
Well, we do see vertical angles, so this angle here and this angle here would be congruent.
Also, I think
But it'd be, they're not.
Remember, ASS is not a valid theorem, so they are not congruent. Or at least, I shouldn't say they're not congruent. We don't know that they are. Right? We don't have enough information to conclude.
What about
Is
this
it-
line?
So,
They share
we
that
do not know.
That's why
They
we're.
share this line. No, they don't.
My pencil. is
Maybe they
gone.
do. I don't think so.
They could, right? They could be the same here and here, and if they are, then we've got side, side, side,
Wait, why
right?
is it on?
But we don't know that. Imagine this one's stretched out further. That could happen, right? Just because they look like they're congruent doesn't mean they are. This side could be a lot longer than this side, and it would still have these two sides the same and this angle the same.
You know the chaps can do
So
that?
this is unknown. ASS is not enough to get it done, guys.
So why can't we just say no?
Because we don't know for sure that they aren't. They
I
could be.
really like that chap.
You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between saying they're not congruent and we don't know if they're congruent. Right? There's not enough information to conclude that either way. If I gave you a triangle that was like this, so if I gave you a triangle that said, hey look, this one, and this one all match, and then I gave you another triangle that said that none of these sides match that one, then we would know for sure they're not congruent, right? That's definitive. This, they could be, right? There's a lot similar here. But we don't know enough to conclude because angle side side isn't enough to figure it out. This side could be a lot longer than this side, even though it looks the same, right? Okay, good question, Michaela. Number 4, congruent or no?
I didn't even know you were. No. You didn't write anything down.
Well, they do have vertical angles.
They do have vertical angles, so let's start there. First thing we should probably do is label what we know. So by vertical angles, we know that. I'm just having trouble spelling today. Actually, I didn't even write it.
What? Wow.
SAS.
All right. SAS. We have sides that match, right? We've got angles that match, and we have sides that match in that order, right? So the angle is surrounded by the two sides. Right? Whenever you write SAS or ASA, make sure the thing in the middle is surrounded, and if it's not, you're using the wrong one, right? So SAS is what we've got going on here. Therefore, the triangles are congruent. So let's write that. Triangle, let's do this triangle first. Let's call it ABC just because that's the order of the alphabet. Again, depending on how you write this is how you have to write this guy. So, angle A in the left triangle, the triangle on the left, is this angle right here. And it is made up of one of the known, like the red part, and the unknown, right? So what angle over here is made up of the red part and the unknown?
D.
Angle D, very good. So these angles go together. B on this triangle is made up of the blue and the unknown. Which one's made up of the blue and the unknown here? E. So it's E. It's in the game. So these two go together. And then by process of elimination, C and C go together, which makes sense, right? They both check out. They're both the same thing. How do you feel about that? Okay. Turn the page. Number 5. If I could have made yesterday the review day and today the not review day somehow, obviously that would make sense, right? Because we had to learn more yesterday. But I could have been better. We're almost done with this. It's like the first time we're ever going to get through a full review pack in class.
I know, it's a shocker.
I know it's such a big pack.
Alright, so these are going to match. These are going to match. And these are going to match. So they have no shared sides or vertical angles going on here. Is there enough information just based off what they gave us to prove that they're congruent?
No.
We hear no. Why not? Looks like side angle side, right?
Or the other one's not.
The other one isn't side angle side. This one's ASS.
Yeah.
So it's not going to work, right? Side angle side over here, but we don't have the same side angle side here. Does everybody see the difference? Side angle side is when you have a side, an angle, and a side, where the angle's in between the two sides, right? And then over here we have angle side side, where the angle isn't in between the two sides. We don't have enough information to conclude they're congruent. So, unknown. If you want to write no or whatever, that works too. Just don't leave it blank. That would be bad. Don't do that. You have to tell me yes or no somehow. 6.
Sure, slide.
We've got sides matching here, and sides matching here, and then we have a shared side, right? So, shared side,
Thanks.
and then we know side, 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 right? Makes it congruent. And now let's write that the triangles are congruent. So we have, let's do the top triangle, ABC, congruent to the other triangle. And again, it is important to use the triangle symbol, so we know we're talking about a triangle. ABC. So what angles go with what? Now this is going to be difficult because none of our angles are labeled, so you have to be very careful here. How we tell is we look at the sides, right? So angle A is the first part we're talking about, right? And that's made up of the red and the blue. So that's going to match up with D, right? And then we have B, which is made up of red and purple. And red and purple down here is what? C. Very good. Oops.
Why can't it just be DBC?
DBC?
Yeah.
Because,
I don't get that fast.
so in this case, B and B don't match up with each other because the red and the purple here is the red and the purple down here.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just because it's the same letter doesn't mean it's always going to go together. Okay? You have to be careful about that. Great question. All right, and then last but not least, we have C, which in this case is going to go with, I'm sorry, this C, the top C, right? Top triangle C is what we're talking about. And that's going to go with B in the bottom. Okay? All right. This will help later when we write stuff, because eventually we're going to get to the point where I just tell you two triangles are congruent, and then you're going to be able to get a lot of information from that. For instance, you would know C and B are the same angle, B and C are the same angle, and D and A are the same angle, right? So if you write it in order and you're persnickety about it, then you can learn a lot just from a very short statement with no picture. 7.
Vertical angles.
Well, good job. We see some vertical angles, right? We got the bow tie going on. So I'll write that down. We are going to use vertical angles theorem, right? Eventually we'll be doing proofs for real. But right now we're just labeling diagrams. These angles are the same. You know, you've got some sides that are the same. Enough information to prove they're congruent?
Yeah.
AAS, which is fine. Yep, AAS does work. So we have angle, angle, and then a side on the side. Does everybody see why that is an ASA?
Yes.
Okay, because that's one of the most common mistakes, is people calling this ASA and the other one AAS, right?
You can write that backwards, can't you?
You could. SAA also works. Forward and backwards are the same, right? You can't just randomly rearrange them, though. That does mean something else. All right, so now let's say the triangles are congruent. Let's change things up. Let's call this triangle CED first. Let's do that, just to be crazy. Do you have to? Oh, no. You don't. Oh, no, you're erasing it. You can just check it.
Too late.
Do it your own way, because it would still match up.
I'm a
Because
follower.
my C would match up with whatever you
It
put for
would
C.
be right?
I don't know. We're going to get there. So angle C on this triangle, the right side, because we're talking about CED, is going to match up with what angle on this triangle? What? So C on CED, right, is what we're talking about?
C.
It matches up with C over here. Wow. That's convenient. And then E on this triangle, what's it going to match up with?
B.
How do you know it's going to match up with B?
Because it doesn't have an.
It doesn't have anything. Yeah, it's the other angle, right? So E and B are going to go together. And then D and A go together because that's what's labeled. I know, right? There's all kinds of funny ones. Yes, you may. Yeah, we haven't had triangle CBD yet. Go eat breakfast.
What?
Yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. All right, now we've got this one. This is one that you haven't seen before, but I think you'll be able to handle it. What do you notice?
They're overlapping.
There are right angles, so that's good. Maybe we can use HL. That's convenient, right?
Are they overlapping or are there three triangles?
They are overlapping, and there are three triangles.
Literally.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guys, from the beginning of the year, remember I said how many triangles there are? So you guys that had nothing to do with not knowing what triangles are with the number? It was just you didn't see it yet? Yeah, we get 5 triangles. So what triangles can we prove congruent? We have a bunch. Ooh, sorry guys, I left out a awful letter. Write E right here. My bad. So what triangles can we prove congruent?
The middle one.
This one.
Yeah.
Congruent to what?
Itself. AD.
Well done.
CE.
Say it again.
The two little ones.
ADE and BCE.
Okay, so she's talking about the two little ones on the left and the right. Okay. She says they're provable. How can we prove that they're the same?
You can't. Because they don't share a side.
They don't. Anybody see it?
Uh-oh.
Bless you. There's a bunch of triangles we can prove congruent here, actually.
No.
Yeah?
Is there actually?
What do you see? We need more information, right?
Oh.
And this big
Oh,
one.
I think I got it.
No,
I think I
yeah,
got it. B, D, C, and A, D, C.
Okay, so this triangle, does everybody see that?
Yes.
And this triangle are the two big right triangles, right?
Yep.
So we can prove them congruent. How are we going to do that?
Don't they share the
They
bottom?
share a bottom side. That's right. Okay, so this is shared between the two. So we have hypotenuse leg, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, ASS, right? But it's hypotenuse leg because we have right angles. So we have shared side. This one's a fun one. And then we know that they're congruent by hypotenuse leg. Now, which triangles? Because there's a lot of triangles here, right? So let's write out which triangles. It was triangle ACD, right? I'm going to write it ACD. Of course, you could flip the letters if you want. But make sure they match up. Now, the other triangle is some form of BCD. Let's see which ones match up. Well, it looks like A and B match, right? That's not too crazy. What does C match up with? On this triangle, this is C. It's made up of the 1 and the 2, right?
D.
And this is made up of the 1 and the 2, so D. D for Derek. And then D on this triangle, which is this angle, is made up of the 1 and the 2 as well. Oh, sorry, we goofed it.
What? You're trying to make CBG?
Pause. A ACD is what we're focusing on. C, angle C on ACD is this angle right here. What does it match up with on the other triangle?
D.
D.
That's what we
Oh, that's what we wrote. That's what, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused.
Literally, look at my ankles.
Oh, it's
What is happening
Yes,
right now?
they do.
Listen, take a break and
Look
breathe.
at this.
And then D is going to match up with what?
It's like
C.
C. There we go, sorry. Letters are hard, guys.
Okay, wait.
What?
I
Look
don't
at my
get.
ankles.
I don't get the
I need
HL thing because
ankles,
HL is ASS, right?
Yep, but only for right
Same
triangles.
ankles.
Shelby, you're here all the time.
Hypotenuse legs. You know the hypotenuse
Sorry.
and a
So
leg?
it's only not. It's only unknown if there's no right angle and it's ASS.
Yeah, HL is the special case where ASS actually does work. And that's why we call it HL because it's hypotenuse, which only a right triangle has, and one of the legs.
Okay.
It can't be both the legs. It has to be the hypotenuse and one of the legs.
We have
Okay.
10 minutes left. Can we play a game?
No, we're not done yet. There's more triangles we can group congruent. We're actually not done. So let's label some angles. This is going to be kind of weird. So we said this angle matches up with this angle right here, right? Are we cool with that? We said C and D match, right? On those big right triangles. So we've said that. Okay.
Did you do all that?
What other triangles can we prove congruent?
A, D, E, and B, E, C.
So for those of you playing along at home, ADE is this triangle right here, okay? And we're going to prove it congruent to this triangle right here.
But
How do we do that?
what?
Cheyenne,
They share an angle.
vertical angle pair, exactly. Angle E here and angle E there. So now what do we have to be able to prove them congruent?
AAS.
AAS. So we have vertical angles for this one, right?
Are we gonna have to do all of them on the
Yeah! Yeah,
Are
yes.
you gonna tell us how many there are?
I'll tell you how many there aren't.
I think I might fail this quiz.
Huh?
There aren't 2.9. Vertical, did you just say I think I'm going to fail this quiz?
Yes.
Shelby, look at me.
I'm being honest.
I believe in you, I know.
She's literally never failed.
I'm going to
Yeah,
ask
you've
questions
never failed
afterwards.
a
Look
quiz.
at me.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Focus.
She's never
And
gotten
believe
it.
me, you're valid and what you're saying is valid. I understand you. We're going to go over this again.
Oh.
I believe in
If I
you.
get any.
Shelby.
Okay.
Seriously.
You'll be okay.
There we
In
go.
class?
I'm guessing you're missing something this big. Okay?
I've done
Vertical
this
angles.
to me.
And then we know that it's congruent by AAS. So let's write what triangles are congruent to each other. So let's start with ADE.
Congratulations. Thanks. I didn't know what they were.
So ADE is congruent to some form of E, B, and C. So which angle goes with which? I think A and B clearly go together, right? Now, angle D on this triangle is down here. That's this angle. We do that in, let's do Pank.
I didn't get anything.
That angle right there goes with what angle on the other triangle?
C.
C, the only non-labeled angle, right? So D and C once again go together. E on this triangle goes with what? E on the other triangle.
I get.
Are there any other triangles we can prove congruent?
No.
We had 5 total triangles, right? So we said big right triangle went together, small right triangle, and small right triangle went together. We've got another one for our 5th, right? This guy, is he going to be congruent to any of the other triangles? No way, right? Can't be. So now that we know these top 2 triangles are congruent, we know these guys are the same, and these guys are the same. What kind of triangle is the uncolored triangle?
Side, side, side.
Nope. We have sides, but we don't match up with
ADC.
anything. No. What kind of triangle is this? It's separate from what we're asking
And
about.
an obtuse triangle.
Isosceles.
It is obtuse because it has an obtuse angle, it appears.
Isosceles.
Isosceles, very good.
Oh, what?
Isosceles. It has 2 of the sides the same. Notice something. When we have 2 of the sides the same, the opposite angles are the same. So in an isosceles triangle, not only are the opposite sides the same, like this, right? But also those angles will end up being the same, always. And we've just proven that.
Wow.
They will always be the same.
Oh my god.
And it makes sense. The bigger you open up, the bigger the opposite side will be. So the bigger we open this angle up, the bigger that'll be. So if they're both the same amount of open, right, they're going to have the same amount of size.
So is it side equal side or angle side equal?
We aren't proving anything right now.
Okay.
Because to say the stuff we were saying before would be to say that there's another triangle that has the same stuff as it, right? And there's only one triangle that has a 3 and a 3 and a 2 for sides. These guys don't. This side up here we know is congruent to this side here, but those are 4s. Do you see what I'm saying? They're congruent to each other. Nothing is congruent to those 3s. Nobody has 2 sides that are 3s. This guy has 1 3, right? This guy has 1 3. This here has no 3s. Same thing here. So the bottom triangle is congruent to none of the others. Guaranteed.
What are you looking at, Taylor?
So another fun thing we just proved is that if you make a drawing like this with right angles and these 2 sides match, there's no way to make it so all of the triangles are equal to each other. No possible way. Okay, that was extra stuff. So, Shelby, we're going to go back to the beginning. Shelby, on the first page, how do you feel about number 1? Okay, again, the key for number 1 is that we have right angles, which means HL is on the table, right? HL is on the table because we have right angles, right? And so we look and we say, yes, we do have a hypotenuse and a leg matching, right? So that's enough. How do you feel about matching the letters?
Pretty good.
Good, good, good. All right, 2. How do you feel about 2, Shelby?
Fine.
Fine, okay.
Except,
Seeing the shared side is important, right? If you have that, then
I'm fine with that one. I'm
Thanks,
only
Sonny.
at 3.
okay.
No one ate my donut.
Number 3, we don't know because look at, oh, sorry. Number 3, we have ASS, and we have no right angle, so there's no HL, right? HL isn't on the table, so there's no possible way to get it done. 4, we were given this information, 2 sides matching, and an angle in between. The rest we got later, right? Feel good about that one?
Yes. Wait, what was the answer for
Side angle side.
Okay, yeah.
We used vertical angles and then got side angle side, and we matched them. Okay. How do you feel about 5?
Good, because there's no right triangle.
Right, so we have an ASS, and this one's an SAS, so we don't know, right? Just because they happen to have matching parts doesn't mean they'll be congruent. It has to be in a certain order, right? That's the point of number 5. Number 6, we had all sides matching. We go with that? Okay. 7, we had vertical angles, and we had 2 angles here and a side here. So we had angle, angle, side. We got this later.
Oh my gosh.
How do you feel about ladies? We all right?
Yeah, right. I actually understand.
All right, good. I want to make sure Shelby does, so please stop distracting her. Shelby, angle, angle, side?
Yes.
For real?
Yes.
Solve the vertical angle?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So 8's the one you're most worried about.
Yeah.
Okay, good news is I'm not going to put a lot of 8's on there, right? I'm not going to put a lot of number 8's. It's going to be mostly this stuff, okay? So for number 8, first of all, remember back at the beginning of the school year, there's 5 triangles here. 1, 2, 3, 4 big right triangle, 5 big right triangle, okay? So at most, we could have, 5 different triangles being congruent to each other. I bet you guys know the bottom triangle isn't going to be congruent to any of the others, right? There's no way. These 2 look congruent, so I need to check that, right? And then these big right triangles look congruent, so I should probably check those. We found the big right triangles first, and I'm going to highlight this. And I didn't do this before because it was kind of ruined my diagram. But this triangle here and this triangle here share a side. Do you see how I highlighted that side twice? They share that side. So we have a shared side. So we were given that this and this are congruent, and this side. So we have 2 sides, right? And an angle. So angle, side, side is what we've got. Do you see that? Angle, side, side. That should make me think HL. Can I do HL? Yeah, it's a right triangle. So by HL, the 2 big triangles are congruent. Do you feel better? For real? Okay. How much better? 25, 50?
Yeah, on everything except for that.
Okay, but this last little bit we do feel better about.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the next thing is we notice these top 2 triangles, right? And they both share a side, right? They both have sides that match. And then we notice that the angles match here because of vertical angles, right? We had a cross, so those are congruent. So we have angle, angle, side that match.
Yeah.
Better? Okay. Are we feeling 50% better about this? 75% better? 100%?
No.
65.
65, okay.
I'll look over it.
Okay. Again, the key for all of these is to look out for overlapping sides, right? Shared sides, and then vertical angles. Okay? That is the key. Alright. How do you feel? Yeah? How's it going? What? How do you feel? Great. How do I feel? No one ever asked how I feel. I feel fine. I feel fine. It's been a weird week, but I feel fine. No! Surprisingly so. MLK Day on Monday. You better bet we'll be talking about it on Tuesday.
How big is the teacher lunch?
So they're doing that, get out for other class periods so they can eat it.
They shared
That's
the
very kind of you. Of course! You guys, game club tonight from 3 to 5. Do fun stuff. Boo!
Come to our game.
Come to my
I
practice.
want to. I want to.
You do not understand how badly I want to play and try to beat it.
I know you do, but I don't think we're going to do it again. I don't want teachers getting mad at me for you guys using this class. I don't know if they did, but I would like to find out. Right? And I understand some people being upset about that, right? If they were, right?
See?
I mentioned very briefly that we shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do what?
Go into other people's classrooms where the teacher wasn't there.
I'm just gonna start eating these.
Right? But of course, that was quickly ignored.
Shut up.
Just say no class.
I'm about to